Forgiveness is magic. Just think about that. Forgiveness is magic. And I really believe that, because when you forgive, what happens is it's like taking a shower. When I'm working with my business coaching clients, we have something called morning and evening practices. And those morning and evening practices include forgiveness, because if you do forgiveness at night, you'll wake up the next morning renewed. The other thing is, it's been researched that the way you go to sleep at night is the way you wake up in the morning. So forgiveness and gratitude are really powerful tools. But my own belief is that if we don't do forgiveness, then gratitude is either harder to come by or it's not as deeply felt. So tonight, we are going to do a process. First, forgiveness, and then I'm going to do a sound bath so that you'll have that to feel into as you're going to sleep or during the day when you may need some renewal about forgiveness. So let's start here. And I hope you brought a pad and pen, because we are going to do a little writing, but you can also write in the chat. Okay. The first process is this. What is it over all of your years? What are the 1 to 3 things that you have not forgiven yourself for? You can put it in the chat if you want, or you can just put it on paper. Doesn't matter to me. It's great if you put it in the chat because I can see it. But let's just do 1 to 3 things that in your life you haven't forgiven yourself for. And if you're just writing them, that's fine. Let's give you another minute or so, or 30 seconds. Now, the way I do forgiveness is very, very simple. So I want you to write this down. I forgive you. Put your name in there. For whatever it is, like, hurting your mother or hitting your brother over the head with an encyclopedia, which actually I did. He burst into my room. So I forgive you, put your name in there. And then for whatever it is, and then write, and I release it to love. So I forgive you, put your name in there. For whatever it was, and I release it to love. So now what I'm going to do is let you write that forgiveness. Those 2 or 3, 1 or 2 or 3. And what I'd like is, after you write them, just put something in the chat about how it felt. It might feel good, it might feel bad. I don't know. And just notice how it feels. You might have something where you don't want to get rid of it. You might want to hold on to it. Some feel sad and some feel relieving. Yes, I got it. Yeah. So there's no hurry here. Once you're done, you might want to just say done in the chat so that I'll move forward, but I don't want to move. I'm amazed that I found 3 things so quickly to forgive myself for. I feel sad, but it's done. Yeah. And sadness is such an awesome feeling because sometimes what we're doing is not forgiving and defending ourselves or, just deflecting. And so to feel that sadness is such a relief because sadness allows us to let go. So if everyone is done, I'm going to move to the second part. The second part is I want you to forgive yourself for every mistake you've ever made. Now, let's talk about this. You do not have to write down every mistake you've made. We'd be here throughout tomorrow and the next day. What I want you to do is write down, I forgive you, put your name in there, for every mistake you think you've made, and I release it to love. I forgive you with your name for every mistake you think you've made, and I release it to love. So do that, and then just let me know how that feels. And you might want to write it 2 or 3 times. Just see what comes up for you and what feelings come up. And resistant, yeah, sometimes we are. Sometimes we don't want to let ourselves off the hook. And this is the night to do that. Probably the nun in me wants to do penance. So I went to the convent of the Sacred, and they used to talk about how much fun they had when we weren't there in the summer. And so what I want to say is nuns are great at forgiving themselves and having fun. So the penance that you have is you're forgiving yourself. So let me know when you're done. Just put done in there so I can see. And you like how gentle this feels. Yes, yes, yes. Forgiveness should always be gentle. It was when we were not forgiven as children, when our parents shamed us, when we were taught that we were wrong. And it wasn't just that we'd done something wrong, it was that we were wrong, that who we were was wrong. Oh, I'm so glad. So someone's saying that she feels like she's made so many mistakes. This forgiveness feels good to do, a relief. That's what we want for you, because we tend to carry this with us. And, one of the things that I say in business coaching and mentoring is self-love is the foundation for all wealth-producing businesses. It's that simple. Now, there are people who make money. There are people that are rich, but they're not wealthy. They are usually afraid they're going to keep losing their money. They chase business all the time, you name it, okay? But wealth comes when you have forgiven yourself and come back to self-love. And that is the basis of wealth. That's why I call my work the way of wealth and wellness. So the next piece of this And if anybody needs some time, would you please just put it in chat? I want to make sure that I'm not just moving forward and, that you're not included, because you are. So, looks like everybody's okay. The next thing you're going to do, and please note that how I did this was, first I had you forgive some things that you thought that you had done wrong or that had gone wrong. I'll keep going. Okay, Evelyn, thank you. Things that you thought that you needed to forgive in your life, one to three things. And then things that the mistakes that you thought that you had made, I wanted you to forgive yourself. Now let's look at who you have been hanging on to that you haven't forgiven. Now I want to say one thing, and people who've been my clients who are on this call know I always say this. If you find someone in this process that you cannot forgive, then the forgiveness that you do is, I forgive you with your name for not being able to forgive, and I release it to love. The power of forgiveness also includes when you can't forgive. And it is perfectly legal. How's that? So I want you to just look at maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people that you have maybe been holding on to some things for. And let me tell you just a quick little story as you're putting this together. Years ago, when I was a Montessori teacher and trainer, I used to teach for University of California, Berkeley Extension, and I do a couple of courses a year for them. And I had this beautiful African-American woman. She taught at a public school, she taught young kids. I think she was probably doing kindergarten. And she came in, and I've been talking about forgiveness for 40 or 50 years. So she came in and we were talking about forgiveness. And she said, oh, there's this woman at school. I can't forgive her. I don't want to forgive her. And I said to her, that woman is just walking down the school hall. She is happy, and she has no idea that you're mad at her and you haven't forgiven her. You're the only one whose life is being impacted by this. And she kind of like, oh. So a couple of weeks later, when we had the next class, she came in and she looked like an entirely different human being. That is how powerful forgiveness is. It lightens your load in a way that nothing else can. Even gratitude cannot lift the load if you have not forgiven. I really want to make that clear, because a lot of people just talk about gratitude, 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 and gratitude is fabulous. But forgiveness comes before gratitude. So feel free to write, I forgive you so-and-so for that thing that you did, and I release it to love. So take your time. When you're done, or when you have a comment to make, please feel free to make it so that I can see what you're doing, and go for it. Notice how you're feeling as you do it. Notice anyone you don't want to forgive, and forgive yourself for not being able to forgive. Okay. No rush at all. And when you're done, just give me a signal on chat so I know. Good exercise. I was surprised that the people I need to forgive, some came up as I was writing. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Notice how your body might be changing as you do this. And just let me know where you are or if you're done, just so I don't rush ahead. Great. And put in here how it feels and how you feel now. Just want to check in. Aware of what was really bothering me. Awesome. When we just take the time, then we really see what it is that's going on. That again, as we move through our day, it's so easy to deflect. So that is awesome. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful awareness. Feel present and less resentful. Okay, let's talk about resentful. Moving slow but listening, that's just fine. Don't worry about it. And the thing about this that I want you all to get is that truly every night, do forgiveness. I forgive you, put somebody's name in there for whatever, and I release you to love. Forgiving yourself, I forgive you, Anne, for, being mean to somebody today, and I release it to love. I feel a bit surprised and yet peaceful. Yeah, that's what it does. And just think about peace in relation to prosperity and wealth. That's what wealth is about. Wealth is knowing you are taken care of. That's the difference between wealth and being rich. Rich people do not think they are taken care of. And you can see many of them on TV who are upset with life. So anybody else who wants to say something before I move on, and it's okay if you're moving slow, but you're listening. Let me just give everybody another minute. If you want to chat in, feel free. I'm especially interested in people I haven't heard from, just so I can see and monitor where you are. Oh, you love the idea of doing this every night? Absolutely. Oh my goodness. And you know what happens? Sometimes I don't do it every night. And what's amazing to me is that all of a sudden I'll start to feel kind of edgy, and that's when I know I have to forgive. And I will tell you one other thing about forgiveness. When you start to do forgiveness, oh, okay, we'll talk about doing things before bed when you're really bad at doing things before bed. So the thing that I notice about forgiveness is that oftentimes I'll have a lot of feelings come up, but they seem to clear themselves. It's like, dirty water. And, it's like all of a sudden you put fresh water in and all the dirty water is gone, but you felt the dirty water leaving you. And so, but now it's fresh water and you feel good. And miracles do occur out of forgiveness. So let's just talk about, if you don't want to do something before bed, do it in the morning. Do it when you feel it. The thing that I think is so important about this is that you pay attention and notice, the pieces. One thing I will say also is that, and Edwene, my teacher from years ago, she always said, usually you need to forgive people that you couldn't control. It didn't go your way, like when somebody pulled in front of you in traffic or whatever. So, we just notice those things and we love ourselves in the process. So the last thing that I want to do before I start the sound bath is I want you to look and see something beautiful about yourself. 2 or 3 things, actually. I want you to write down 3 things that are amazing and beautiful about you. Amazing and beautiful about you. And I would love if you put at least one of those things in the chat so we can celebrate you. Wise woman who sees things. Beautiful. Who else? I notice what people deeply need. I name things exquisitely. Yes, you do. I'm a great combination of sensitive and strong. Yes, you are. Wow. I have an amazing sense of humor. Yes, you do. That often saves my ass. I am so grateful for it. And it's really true. Yeah. I have a really good sense of humor too. My family is a very funny family with good timing. I often say, I'm originally from Lexington, Kentucky, and the joke I have is, in the South, what are you going to do? People sit on the porch and they talk about other people and make jokes. I mean, it's a terrible thing, but there's nothing else much to do. And they drink a Coke. Laughing as you all do this. Did you know? In the South, people don't say hello when you come to their house. They say, want a Coke? So I thought I'd add a little levity here. So beautiful. You hold peace for others and let go of anger and resentment. That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Thank you. And if anybody else has something, just put it in here. And otherwise, I'm gonna release this part. I'm going to take you all down so that you can begin to relax and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Let yourself begin to relax, knowing that you are held in this space. I'm also a Reiki master, so I'll be sending Reiki to you at some point during the sound bath. Make sure that as you relax, whether you're laying down or sitting up, if you want to use headset or headphones, feel free. Make sure you adjust your audio because everybody's on a different audio system. And begin to just relax into your body. And as you do that, just take a nice, easy, deep breath. And then relax into that breath. Feeling your body relax from the top of your head, down through your shoulders, your arms, your hands, the trunk of your body, your legs, your thighs, your calves, your feet. As you simply begin to let go. And put your left hand over your heart when you're ready to feel the magnificence of your heart. Tonight, I'm playing bowls that are alchemy bowls. They have precious metals in them. They are angelic. And all my bowls are tuned to 528 hertz, which is tuned to the heart. It's my favorite way to play. And so tonight, as you relax and get ready, this is a healing for your heart. And if during that time you feel emotions, feelings, it's so normal. And just relax into that, knowing that you are being taken care of, because that's what wealth is about. So here we go. very gently. Begin to feel your body. Feel your feet, feel your hands. Take a nice breath so you can feel it move in and through your body. And a really big exhale. And just as you're beginning to come out, remember tonight to drink a lot of water. You may also want to take a shower. You may want to do some journaling. And just as a special remembrance, to remember tonight to feel grateful after you've done all this forgiveness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on pause so that I can come and talk to you all. The one thing that I would love for you to do is when you come back, as you're coming back, why don't you put in the chat how this was for you and how it feels. How are you feeling now? Let's put that in the chat. As you take your time, just coming back. Oh, peaceful. Oh, great. Oh. I'll just let people take a moment. Oh, good, peaceful. I like that. Because the truth is, peaceful is how everything else, oh, at home in my body, oh, that is so thrilling. So thrilling. Because that's what we want for people. To feel at home with yourself. You know, I changed the tagline in my business to coming home to yourself through the power of business, color, and sound. And this is such an important piece to me of coming home to yourself. So thank you. And anybody else who wants to say, what was most meaningful for you tonight? That's really important for me to hear. What was most meaningful for you tonight? Oh, that forgiveness is a shortcut to joy. Oh, God. Thank you. That is awesome. That is so beautiful. Permission to let it go. Yes. Yes. And you know, sometimes in the world right now, because things are kind of upside down and chaotic, we watch a lot of people who aren't willing to let things go. And so to be able to have that opportunity for yourself is so powerful. Forgiveness and feeling like I was inside my resonance. Yes. And let's just talk about this a second. That the sound, the beauty of sound is it changes your frequency without effort. I really want people to understand that. That's why I want people coming to sound baths. A sound bath changes your frequency with no effort. That is powerful. So on one hand, what I'm doing is, you know, doing a process, because in all my sound baths, I do some kind of energy clearing. Last time it was clearing your family's money story. This time it's forgiveness. And next time we'll see what it is. But the reason I do that, and I don't just do a sound bath or a meditation, is because I want people to really know what to do, to bring themselves home to themselves, to bring themselves into peace, to bring themselves back into an empowered state. And so these are some of the tools that I use. So anybody else want to say anything on chat? What I'm going to do, if not, is I'm going to say, thank you so much for coming. It's such an honor. And I'm going to actually pause the recording so that I can come on and just talk to you guys. So thank you. I'm going to pause this.